All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the broadcast. This is Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thank you very much for being with me here for another edition of the broadcast. I've been fighting a head cold for about the past week, as I've told you, and I'm finally starting to come out of it a bit, but I'm still kind of sniffly and coughy and sneezing, all that shit. So I apologize ahead of time. But I'm going to come up here tonight and give you the best I can for as long as I can. See, under my current condition. So I apologize ahead of time if I make a bunch of gross sounds here on the show tonight, but it's like I said, it's the best I can do. And I already wanted to have more shows last week and stuff like that. Anyway, I got a lot to talk about here tonight. Got a lot to say, and I want to make sure I get into as much of everything I want to talk about. I want to get into tonight, and then if I have time, I'll get into news. We'll see what happens here, but I am here with you. Thank you so much for being here with me and joining me again. I want to thank everybody out there for your continued support of my show and my work. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start here because it's the first and foremost thing on my mind right now. So I'll talk about this first. On Monday, this past Monday, I was scheduled to be on the Richie from Boston show. Been on there a few times. Richie's wanted to have me back on for a while, so I said, okay, cool, I'll come on. He, of course, lives in Boston, and they got hit with they've been hit with a bunch of fucking blizzards, nor'easters, whatever else, and they've got a lot of snow and stuff. So I was on there talking for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes at the most, and then his internet went out, and he had to finish the show by himself from his phone because he couldn't connect me through his phone and all that stuff. And like I said, I was only on there just a few minutes. I have to tell you, man. He asked me if I wanted to come back on and offered me to let me come back on again, but I sent him an email a little while ago and said that I'm going to decline. Just the one thing I just don't have time for anymore from anybody. I don't care who it is. Rando person on the internet. Friend I've known for years and years. Whoever. Whoever it is. I just don't have the time or the fucking candy for anybody's bullshit or negativity anymore. And I just refuse to put myself in front of it. My work and what I've done and what I'm doing is way more important than, trolls and haters and shit talkers and all the rest of that stuff. And I had to tell you, man, I'm the type of person where, if you don't have the same beliefs as me or whatever, I'm fine with that. I don't expect every single show and every single host, every single person that I go on to do a show with to agree with everything I talk about, or to have the same beliefs as me or anything else. That would be a silly way to go, but I never get paid that same respect. That's the problem. And I'm not talking about Richie. I'm talking about him. I think he's great. I think that Richie is, I think his heart's in the right place. I think he does things for the right reason, same as I do. I think he really is honestly after the truth. But his audience, man, I got to tell you what. Whew, and not all of them. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater like they do, because we have gotten some great supporters and great listeners from being over there on Richie's show, from him, and I appreciate everything Richie's done to promote my work, and I'm not. This is in no way aimed at him at all. I want to be fucking crystal clear about that. I have nothing against Richie. I have nothing but love for the guy. I have nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. I want to make that 100% crystal clear before I say what I'm going to say here. Because this is not about him. But man, I got to tell you, a lot of people in his audience, there is a bunch of fucking trolls and haters and spooks and brainwashed Christians. I mean, look, you know, I mean, just the comments and just the stuff, not just on the little video I did with him, but stuff that I've been sent, comments that have been left on my. I mean, I didn't even do 2 minutes on that fucking show Monday, folks. I wasn't even on there for fucking more than 2 minutes. And I've gotten more nasty comments, more hateful shit thrown at me from that 2 fucking minutes I did on his show on Monday than I have in the past fucking 2 or 3 years. Total. And, you know, I got to tell you, when I first started in this stuff, I openly admit this, as much as I openly admit that at one time for not a very long period of time, for about a 3-year period, there was about a 2 or 3 year period where, yes, I was, on board with Alex Jones and on board with all that, mainstream truth movement stuff. I didn't know the farce of it yet. And I openly admit that. I also on the same token, openly admit that when I first started, few years I was on air, I was a massive, massive troll feeder. I mean, if there was a fucking sign that said don't feed the trolls, boy, I'd be the first one to feed them motherfuckers. I loved it. It was a sport to me. I'd feed the fuck out of them until I realized that's exactly what they want. They want to be fed. If you don't feed them, they die. It's a fact. So I don't feed them motherfuckers anymore. And people, man, I don't take the fucking troll bait. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Because that's what they want. They want you to take their bait. And all that stuff is designed. Again, this took me years to realize it, but I did realize it. Once I realized it, like I do with anything, I correct course and go on about my business. But all that stuff is only designed to take you off of your target. That's all it is. And I've been so far gone from that feeding the trolls thing that now when I see the troll bait aimed at me, I'm not even tempted to take it anymore. I used to sometimes be like, ooh, I could pounce all over that. I don't even bother with them anymore. Because I don't have anything to defend. I don't have to defend anything. What I put out is the truth. And I work very hard at this, and I've dedicated my entire life to this. And, I just don't have time to have hateful negativity. I've been working, struggling with my health, as you can hear, through the tooth issues, through the Bell's palsy stuff. In the past week, a head cold. I've got enough negative energy thrown at me from the enemy. And as I've talked about, man, everybody always talks about, the enemy this, the enemy that, the Illuminati, the New World Order, whoever. I'm telling you, man, it's a goddamn fact. It's a truth. I've had more problems with regular everyday people than I've ever had with the powers that be. That's a fact. And, man, just some of the shit. And I noticed this, a couple times I went on over his show there before. I had some of this happen, a little bit. You always get the people that immediately, you need to tell me right now that you're a Christian, because if you're not a Christian, I'm not going to listen to any more of what you have to say. You get those. The people who have problems with me cussing. People with problems with me because I'm not a flat earther. Just all this horse shit, man. And I'm just, honestly, I don't have the fucking time or candy for it anymore. And again, just from the majority, I was on that show for 2 goddamn minutes, folks. 2 goddamn minutes. And I had more hate and more bullshit thrown at me than I've had in years. And I just don't have the time or the energy for it anymore because my time and my energy needs to go into my work and my films and what I'm doing. I'm not going to fucking worry myself with fucking whether or not they're cracking down. Everybody's trying to get me to engage in the fear-mongering and the hysteria around the YouTube thing. I'm just flat not going to do that either. Because the people that are worried about this are the people who don't have and have never had anything else but YouTube to spread their whatever. YouTube's never been the end-all, be-all for me. It never was. It never has been. As I've talked about before, I didn't even start uploading stuff on the regular to YouTube as far as my shows until 2015. And only did that so I could get stuff out to more people. I mean, if YouTube went away tomorrow, the show would go on. It's not going to affect me one iota. So I'm not going to get up here and fear-monger this. It's all a psychological operation, folks. I told you this was coming. I told you as soon as these guys started all aligning themselves with Trump before Trump got elected that they would then have to find a new shadowy enemy to blame everything on, and that's what they're doing. They lost all credibility aligning themselves with the establishment, and now they're trying to wiggle their way fucking out of it, and luckily there are some people like myself and others who ain't fucking buying it. So I'm not going to engage in all that horse shit. Look, if you, I mean, being a follower of a religion and calling yourself a truth seeker cannot exist in the same universe. I mean, I had one guy leave. I saw one comment where a guy said, "Oh, I bought his Lost Secrets of Ancient America film a few years ago, and at the end of it, he goes by the Creationist Museum and he's laughing hysterically at it. I don't think he's on our team." You're goddamn right I'm not on your fucking team. You're goddamn right I'm not. If your team is fucking brainwashed, Christian, zealot, flat earther, right-wing Republicans, I'm not on your fucking team. If you're a fucking lefty, commie, liberal, atheist, I'm not on your fucking team. Okay? If you think this is all a conspiracy of Jews against white Christians who are trying to enslave and kill white Christians, and you are not on my team, and you need to fuck off. I don't care who this pisses off. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say my piece right now, and if you don't fucking like it, don't fucking listen to me anymore. You ain't going to find the truth in religion, motherfuckers. It's been set up in order to keep you from finding the truth. It's been edited and created so you don't ever find the truth. Fuck Christians, fuck Muslims, fuck Jews, fuck Catholics, fuck Mormons, fuck Scientologists, fuck Third Day Adventists, fuck Hindus, fuck Hare Krishnas, fuck Scientologists, fuck fucking flying spaghetti monster worshippers, fuck atheists. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, yeah, no, that's a religion too. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, of course it is. Atheism is just as much a religion as Christianity. Another fucking asshat. Oh, could you please not use the F word? Let me find his actual comment and read what this asshat had to say. I've addressed this before. I'm going to address it again because it's just this tells you what I'm dealing with here. Oh, now I don't see it. Anyway, another one of these assets. Oh, I want to let my son is interested in this stuff, and I can't let him listen if you're saying the F word. I've been doing this. I've been on air for almost 11 years. This is my 11th year in broadcasting. And every time one person, because 99.9% of all the people who listen to my show don't care. Every time I get one person, you really think, I just want to know what's the thought process is when you leave a comment like this on my YouTube page. Do you really honestly think that I'm going to go, do you think I give a fuck what one person thinks? I don't give a fuck what a million people think, much less one person. But, again, I've addressed this thing before. I'm going to address it again right now. You need to take a look at yourself, buddy. My son is interested in your information, but you say the F word. Well, number one, I mean, you got one or two choices, okay? Because this is all on you. This isn't on me. Could you imagine if somebody would have went up to George Carlin or Richard Pryor or anybody like that, but I use George Carlin as, could you imagine if somebody would have went up to George Carlin and said, George, could you not say the F word in your work, because I want to let my son listen. I think you say a lot of good things, but I just can't let my son listen if you say the F word. Well, number one, if you believe your son is mature enough to hear this type of information, but yet you don't think they're mature enough to hear the F word, you've got your priorities out of whack. First and foremost. That's number one. Number two, if your kid is as mature as you believe him to be, mature enough to handle this information, then they should be mature enough for you to explain to them that the word fuck or any other cuss word is adult language. And if you don't want your children using adult language, I mean, like you really honestly fucking think that your kids' ears are unspoiled virgin ears who've never heard the word fuck before they heard Josh Reeves say it? You're out of your mind, dude. Do you have any idea the world we live in? Your kid has heard the word fuck 1,000 times before he ever heard me. That's a fact. You can live in your little fantasy dream world where you want to think that's not the reality, but I'm telling you, that's the reality, bud. They're going to hear it at school. They're going to hear it from their friends. They're going to hear it on the music that they listen to. They're going to hear it on TV. They're going to hear it on cable. They're going to hear it everywhere. But yet, I am somehow the only purveyor of the word fuck to the point where because you, one person, have a problem with it, I'm supposed to change what I do? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go eat a dick. Go eat a bag of dicks. I don't care. In your fucking and that's the problem I have with these fucking Christians, man. Bunch of fucking hypocrites. Bunch of fucking hypocrites. All of you. Here's the third one for you, bud. How about you let your kid be a kid? I don't fucking, this is not a fucking family show, okay? I'm not a teacher. I'm not a school teacher. I express myself how I want to express myself. And not only that, maybe if you actually supported my work, you would know this. You can go watch any of my films, and in none of them will you find the F word. I mean, if you honestly think that, and that's another thing that pisses me off. Again, that's the proof of what I always talk about. They want my information, but they want it in an easily digestible, clean, nice way that doesn't ruffle their feathers, and they don't want to have to support my work at all. I mean, do you honestly, what is them? I can't imagine it. Can you imagine? I can't imagine listening to somebody's radio broadcast show, podcast, whatever it is. I can't imagine listening to that or listening to a stand-up comedian or somebody, or like George Carlin or somebody and being like, yeah, everything you talk about is great, but, boy, you said the F word, so I can't listen to your information. I can't ignore. I mean, that's bullshit. That's a cop-out. Just like this fucking guy. Oh, he made fun of the Creationist Church. I don't think he's on our team. You're goddamn right I'm not on your team, motherfucker. You believe the world's 8,000 years old? Come on. I have done work for years. These fucking people you know who's really running this fucking thing? See, that's the problem. And that's why I'm not going to go on Richie and Boston's show anymore. I'm just not going to do it. I already sent Richie an email, so I'm just not going to do it. Because I'm just not going to waste my time going and putting out my hard work and my information on a platform full of a bunch of people who aren't interested in the truth. You're not interested in the truth. You're interested in things that reinforce the unmovable, unshakable beliefs that you built up in your brain that are religious based. That's it. And anything that falls outside of that to you is of the devil or evil or from them, whatever fucking epithet you want to attach to it. You assholes are never going to find the fucking truth because you're stuck up your own asshole and can't see your way out of your own fucking asshole, and you're never going to find the fucking truth because you're blinded by an unshakable belief structure. If you want the truth, you can't be attached to anything. I am not a follower of any religion, nor will I ever be. I ain't a fucking atheist either. I'm not a fucking follower of anything. I'm not a joiner. That's why I'm not in the Freemasons or any of these fucking groups. I'm not a fucking joiner. I'm not a left-winger. I'm not a right-winger. The truth will not be found by anyone who puts themselves in a group or a religious belief or anything else that can't see past the little wall that it builds up around itself. I mean, you still think that these fuckers still think that, it's all the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are at the top of the pyramid. It's all Jews that hate Christians, and that's what the whole conspiracy is. Bullshit. The religious power structure runs this planet, and they have since the dawn of fucking time. When I first started my research into the Council for National Policy and started working on my Secret Right films back 10 years ago now, it started unraveling this web of religious power structure. I started becoming obsessed and going, well, goddamn, this has been going on longer than we thought it has. Since the dawn of time, folks, since the first civilization started to pop up after the Great Flood, the Sumerian civilization, this show has been run by the priest class. In the Sumerian days, they didn't have government. They didn't have politicians. And it's never changed. Why do you think, I talked about this in my Secret Right films. Why do you think that when the CIA was formed out of the ashes of the OSS, that they gave all the people, Wild Bill Donovan and Bill Casey, all those guys, Henry Kissinger, why do you think all those people were made Knights of Malta? All the heads in the beginning of the CIA were all made Knights of Malta. Now, were every single one of those guys Catholics? Fuck no, they weren't. Henry Kissinger's a fucking Jew. But he's also a Knights of Malta. Now, wrap your fucking head around that. Because when you are made a Knight of Malta, you have the right to do, if you are doing under the behest and under the heading of being a Knight of Malta, you are not bound to the same laws and rules as everybody else is. The Knights of Malta are allowed to operate with impunity and never be held accountable for any of their actions. And this is decreed to them by the Vatican. This is why Henry Kissinger has been wanted for war crimes in multiple countries for decades and never been brought to justice. That was, to me, that was the biggest revelation, that when I made my first film, 9/11 New World Rising, that was the biggest thing I couldn't believe. That's when I first started to understand who was really pulling the strings and who was really running the show compared to who we've been told was really pulling the strings and running the show. Even right before I found out, this is about a couple of months before I found out about the CMP and started my secret right work, was learning that, about Henry Kissinger being Knights of Malta and all the stuff with Salvador Allende and Chile and all that, and how he was being brought to trial finally for these war crimes. And guess what day that trial was taking place? September 11th, 2001. Never been able to find any explanation to this. But for some reason, the planes hit the towers right in the middle of his trial's going on. They declare a mistrial because of the events of September 11th, and then it just dies. There's never another court case ever again. I mean, I still haven't seen. I'm not saying that it hasn't been put in other 9/11 films, but that to me was one of the biggest smoking guns of 9/11 there ever has been. And it's been largely ignored by so-called 9/11 truthers. And the reason it's important is because it shows you yet again what the power of these people who have the blessing of the religious hierarchy are able to get away with. So I'm sorry. No. Look, if you're a follower of a religion and you're listening to my work, you're in the wrong place. Because this stuff is it's all designed to keep you locked in that limited viewpoint. And anything that comes along that challenges it or questions it one iota, your brain automatically switches to say that that's not true, or it's disinfo, or it's lies, or anything else. You're not interested in the truth. I mean, it's the same way with this guy, he laughed at the creationists. So everything else I put in that 4-hour film is completely negated by the fact that I laughed at creationists. See, again, that's their whole fucking thing. If you don't believe 100% what they believe, lock, stock, and barrel, then obviously you're not putting out the truth. And this is by design. This is done intentionally. So that people who are locked into these ways of thinking never find the truth. They're keeping you right where they want you. If you're an atheist Christian, I don't care what religion you are, they got you right where they want you. They got you right on the plantation. They got you right down on the farm. And I'm just not gonna put myself in front of that. I have no reason to, and I have no need to. No reason or need to put myself in front of that stuff. I mean, if you think everything else is the problem, but yet your religion, whatever it may be, is perfect and is the right thing, you're fucked, man. You're fucked. If truth lied in religion, we would have found the truth a long time ago. So you can just keep on calling me names and calling me this and calling me that and calling me Satan and calling me whatever you want to call me. But the fact of the matter is, I'm after the truth. And I'm not going to let anything stand in my way. Yeah, that whole fucking casting your pearls before swine shit, I'm fucking not doing that. Like I said, got nothing against Richie from Boston. I think he's a great guy, but goddamn, that audience of his are a bunch of fuckwits. A bunch of fucking brainwashed morons who couldn't find the truth, who bit them on a goddamn ass. Fuck a bunch of y'all. Seriously. To those of you who have found me from his show and who aren't brainwashed, fucking Christian zealot, flat earth, brain dead sons of bitches, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate everything Richie's done to help promote my work. But, man, I just don't have time or candy for that, all that negativity and all that bullshit. And I've got enough of that aimed at me 24/7 on my own. You know, I just have to take time out of my day to go on a show and talk about this stuff and do it only because I care about people and I want people to know the truth. And then have to sit there and listen to and get emails and comments on my YouTube videos. I'm just not going to do it, man. I can get that kind of shit any old day of the week. That's not why I go on radio shows. I go on other radio shows to reach audience of receptive, truth-seeking people who may not have any idea about me or my work and might possibly get something out of it. But I have no interest in going on and talking for a bunch of people whose minds are already made up and who have no interest in new information, have no interest in expanding their knowledge base. They only have an interest in things that back up and reinforce what they already believe. That's not seeking the truth. That's nothing but a goddamn circle jerk. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, if all you want to hear is stuff that reinforces what you already believe, you're having a fucking circle jerk. You're sitting around with a bunch of other dudes and women pounding your shit and pounding your fucking, slamming your clam. You're sitting around having a fucking circle jerk. Well, far be it from me to bust up your circle jerk. If you want to sit around and have a circle jerk and fucking jerk yourselves off to stuff that just backs up and reinforces, I never got that, never understood that. You only want stuff that backs up and reinforces your currently established belief system. You're never going to find the truth in a circle jerk. that on a fucking shirt and wear it. You're never going to find the truth in a circle jerk. Josh Reeves, 2018. Sounds silly? It's the truth. And that's, I'm sorry that from what I've seen, that's the majority of people in Richie from Boston's audience, that's what it looks like. They just want, and, nothing against Richie, but, honestly, I think he panders to that. I think that's what he does. I think he constantly, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go on anybody's show and I'm not going to go on there and try to win people over. Because again, if you've already made up your mind, there's nothing I can say or do that's going to get you to change that. But I'm here to tell you, you've been led astray. You got to separate yourselves from these groups. You got to separate yourselves from these groupthink mentality, religious think mentality, political party mentality. You got to separate yourself from all of it. Otherwise, when the truth does finally find its way to you, and it probably already has a bunch of times, you're going to see it as a stranger. You're going to turn it away at the door. Even though it's right there waiting to be found by you, you're going to turn it away because it may conflict or does conflict with your already predetermined belief. I mean, it boggles my mind that people think that everything's a lie except their religion. Oh, everything's a lie except Christianity. That's good. It's full of truth. Full of truth, huh? Wow. Oh, you fuckers are dead. I mean, you're just fucking, you're dead already. I don't even get it. You're never going to find the truth. I don't know why you're looking. But again, it's a stupid fucking question. And this is exactly what they want. It's a hamster wheel. It just gets you fucking going on again, you get nowhere with it. It's a hamster wheel mentality, man. That's exactly what it is. And, believe me, I've had to change what I believe a bunch of times during the course of this. If you're not willing to have your paradigm shifted on the regular, you're never going to find the truth. If the truth could be found in established religion, in established science, in established political parties, we would have already found it by now. There would be no reason to seek it. But again, if you think this is nothing but a Jewish conspiracy against white people, you're fucked. You're just fucked. I did appreciate some of the. There were some people in the comments that who do get what I'm about. And again, I'm not talking to all of Richie's audience, but the majority of them, but not all of you. Look, I know there's a lot of you who found my show and are fans of mine, and you're not those type of people. And I apologize. I'm not talking about you, but for the rest of them. But again, I mean, most of these people, they've never listened to my work. They're not going to fucking buy my films. They don't want the truth. They just want the constant circle jerk. And look, some people are happy to do that. That's not me. I could have done that a long time ago. I'm not going to fucking build a little. I have never had any interest in building an audience full of people who are just dead set in their thinking, and that's it. I mean, that's the best kind of audience, to be honest with you, if you want to make a lot of money. But it's the same as being, a fucking televangelist or something. Because you're not giving people anything new. You're just giving them the same shit day in and day out to reinforce their predetermined belief system. And anybody that has ever watched my films knows that I don't work backwards from some premise. These are true research efforts. You know, I'm not going to engage in this fucking bullshit fear-mongering that's going on with all the YouTube stuff. I've talked about that. People are getting their fucking... I mean, y'all are... it's sad, man. It really sucks. It's, it's been nothing but... The negatives have far outweighed the positives, I got to say. In all the years since I've been doing this. Very little... I got to be honest, man. This is just the truth. Very little in the way of anything positive has ever really occurred as a result of all the work I've done. It's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, no matter how hard I work, no matter what I do. Because people just allow themselves to get taken and wrapped up in these fucking things that the media is trying to get them wrapped up in, whether it be Trump or whether it be flat earth, whether it be the YouTube scaremonger thing. Look, that's why I never put all my fucking baskets in YouTube to begin with. Why do you think I've always had my own subscription archives that most people ignore and most people don't subscribe to? Why do you think I still pay the fucking money out of my pocket every month to keep it there? Why do you think I have my own download shop with all of my films and all of my audiobooks and all that stuff in there? I never put all my eggs in the basket of YouTube because I saw this coming. Why do you think there are people that have only been on air 6 months, a year, 2 years that have 20 times the amount of followers on their YouTube channels than I do? This is all a psychological operation. This is all aimed towards people who don't have any other kind of platform, and if there wasn't YouTube, would have never had a platform to begin with. So I'll be honest with you. I kind of welcome all this shit. I mean, if YouTube went away tomorrow, I don't give a fuck. It'd be great for me. That's a plus for me. Because then people aren't going to be able to get all my shit for free anymore. That I've worked hard and put thousands of dollars in to create. And just be expected to just give it all away. And then who cares, if you can make another film? Who cares if you can eat this week? No, just give it pour thousands into this and then just give it all to us away for free. Hey, if somebody wanted to give me millions of dollars, somebody want to give me $50,000 a year for my work, whatever, hey, I'll give away as much as I can for free. But again, I'm not going to do this for ungrateful fucking people who aren't interested in the truth anyway. And all they want is somebody else that they can label as an enemy and shit talk as an enemy because they challenge their little myopic fucking viewpoint, their little, secret garden they built around themselves within their little belief system. It's just fucking hilarious to see all these people losing their shit over this YouTube thing. Let me tell you something. You're not going to like this. Probably not going to like much of what I've said on this show tonight, but hey, that's the deal. That's the fucking deal. If you listen to my show, you're going to get the fucking harsh truth whether you like it or not. And the harsh truth is this. And ain't nobody else going to say this to you, but this is the truth. YouTube has no fucking what's the word I'm looking for here? Expectation? No, maybe not expectation. YouTube is not required to uphold your free speech. I got news for you. anything, anywhere you are on the internet, whether it be somebody's Facebook page, somebody's YouTube channel, YouTube comments, a chat room, dude, your freedom of fucking speech means dick online. It really does. YouTube is, I mean, if you really honestly believe that YouTube owes you your freedom of speech, you're out of your goddamn mind. At any point has YouTube ever been called YouTube, the free speech channel, or YouTube, the free speech company? Fuck no. As much as any of us might not like it, if you're on YouTube, you're in their house. And just like I made the analogy before with the casino, when you're in their house, it's house rules. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do to whatever you do on their platform at any given time, and there really ain't much dick you can do about it. Well, again, this is why I've never put all my... I saw this coming years ago. I've never put all my eggs in the basket of YouTube. I have my own download shop. I have my own archive subscriptions, all that stuff. If they wipe every fucking channel off YouTube tomorrow, there will still be the global reality the very next day. Same thing with my fucking comment section. I've seen people make that. People come and shit talk me, call me every fucking name in the book, talk shit on everything I've ever done, and then I delete them and ban them, and they send me an email and go, you're against free speech. Dude, you don't, your fucking rights end about the time you go right into anybody. It's the same thing if you go to somebody's house. If you go to somebody's house and you start calling them a motherfucker and a whatever else, a fucking fag and a fucking, whatever. Hey, hey, buddy, you're a fucking nigger. Hey, you're a fucking gook. Or saying some shit like that in somebody's house. And they kick you the fuck out of their house for being disrespectful. And then you go, well, that person is against free speech. I called them a nigger in their house, and they had the nerve to kick me out. What's up with that? You're anti-free speech. No. Nobody owes you anything or has to uphold your right to free speech in their house. You're leaving comments on my videos, you're in my house. And if you can't say something positive and you can't say something that's not disrespectful, same thing with my YouTube channel or my Facebook. If you leave a customer service oriented comment on a Facebook post that I've made for a fundraiser or something, you are immediately getting banned. I've instituted that for years. Everybody knows my email address. You can email me if you have a problem. It's not the time and place. It's people who want to fucking do shit like that to get attention. And they want to try to hurt you because their fucking computer sucks, so they couldn't download the fucking video properly. But instead of writing you an email and just saying, hey, can you help me, which I'm happy to do. Most of the time it's just a browser issue or something. I'm happy to fucking help people out. But they'll leave these comments over and over again in the wrong place, even though I've asked people a million times, don't do that. You got a problem, email me. And then I ban them, and then I'm the asshole. It's fucking ridiculous. And again, I'm not desperate enough for more fucking followers or likes on my videos, to put myself out there in front of an audience like fucking what Richie in Boston has over there. I mean, my God. I wasn't even on that fucking show. 3 minutes, folks. And it's like all I've gotten is fucking negative stuff. And again, it's part of the hypocritical nature of these fucking Abrahamic religions. Why is it that brainwashed religious nuts are always the most negative Nancys on the fucking face of the planet? You would think if you guys were so in tune with the Spirit and the Holy Spirit and with God and everything else that you'd be more upbeat and positive about things. You guys are the most crying, whiny, fucking tit-sucking, baby-sounding motherfuckers I've ever heard in my life. Fucking wake up and grow a pair. Please. Tit-sucking fucking crybabies. The lot of you. Oh, he said he laughed at the Creationist Museum, so he's not on our side. So forget everything else I may have put in that film that was, groundbreaking info or whatever. I laughed at creationists, which you should. If you believe the Earth's 8,000 years old, just please go eat a shotgun. Thank you. Look, as far as this YouTube stuff goes, a lot of it's real, a lot of it's scare. Some of it's real, some of it's scaremongering. It's just the same way with anything Alex Jones puts out or any of the rest of these fear-mongering clowns. Part of what they put out is truth mixed with fiction, and they do it in a way so that you don't have discernment enough to determine which one is which. But that's really all I have to say about that. I'm done talking about it. But I'm also done. I'm not going to be going on Richie and Boston's show anymore. I just in all my days, I've been on a lot of shows, but I've never been on a show before where I've had to endure that kind of stuff. I don't know, man. Not my scene. And I'm not going to go where it's not my scene, What else did I have to talk about tonight? I want to also mention we still have a couple of the Vault flash drives left if anybody wants to get one of those. Email me, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. Put the title of your email, Vault Flash Drive. It's $100 if you're in the U.S., $120 outside of the U.S. Minimum contribution. You can contribute more than that. We've got a couple of those left. You want to get one. You still got a day or so. Let me know. Last call on those. We've got... here's our fundraising update efforts for the week. We need $200 by this Friday. That's our goal for the week. Then we won't have any more fundraising goals for the rest of the month as far as operating costs go till the end of the month, 1st of April. The rest of our fundraising for the month, our efforts are going towards getting the rest of the budget we need to finish the Spellcasters Volume 2. That's my priority right now. I'm going to be starting a separate fundraiser for that. You should be able to find the links here in this video and in the comment section, and also on my Facebook pages, the Global Reality Radio Network Facebook page and the Josh Reeves Filmmaker Talk Show Host Explorer page. That's all you always will find. Show updates, new shows posted, fundraising links, all that stuff. So be sure to check out our fundraising pages. You can also always use the donate button in my website, theglobalreality.com. I know my website sucks. I know it's old and out of date. I'm aware of all these things. It's on my to-do list for the year. But really right now, my main goal is getting the rest of the budget we need for the Spellcasters Volume 2. I mean, this month has been shit. We barely made it through last month. We were $200 short on our operating costs last month. We barely got budget stuff paid this month. And right now, after paying all the bills, I'm sitting on about $10. I've got one of the most groundbreaking films. I believe it's the most groundbreaking conspiracy truth film ever made. It's two films in one. This thing's going to be, 4 or 5 hours. It's going to be two separate films. I need about $500-600 to finish this thing, and a couple of $100 to operate on for the next couple of weeks until the end of the month, first of next month. That's what we need. We had 900 something people listen to the last show, and we had 3 people contribute. That's what I'm talking about. If you're listening to this show and you're not buying my documentaries, you're not buying my films, you're not buying downloads, you're not contributing, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. And I don't have time or candy for anything or any more, anything at all anymore that is not a part of the solution. If you're negative Nancy, if you got negative shit to say, if you want to ask me, expect me to answer a million, I don't answer free. I don't give out any free info anymore. I'm tired of that. I haven't done that in a long time. You got a bunch of questions, you got stuff you want to know about, pay me, and I'll answer your questions. I got no time or candy anymore for anything that is going to in any way even appear to be a detriment to my work. I'm focusing on the positive. I'm focusing on my work, what needs to be done, because it's more important than me, you, or anything else, and that's a fact. What I'm doing, this work is bigger than me. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as the religious zealots and, tell you that I'm doing the Lord's work. It's been a while since we had a little visit from Pastor Hagan. That's right. Right here. I'm here to tell you that Josh Reeves speaks the truth. No, it's kind of like the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from God. I'm not going to go as far as to say that, but pretty close. I mean, it's just a fact, folks. The stuff that I've come across, the stuff that I've discovered now, the information that's going to be in Spellcasters Volume 2, there is stuff here that literally no one's ever discovered before me. And that you will hear about. You'll start, it's going to be hilarious. That's one of the things I can't wait on, because, I mean, every day I look and see, I wonder if anybody's put this together yet. But nope. So nobody has. It's going to be hilarious after this film comes out, how many parrots and how much stuff you're going to hear. And y'all will notice it. You'll see, watch. There's going to be so many things that are in this film that nobody else has ever fucking come across before me. And you're going to see it being stolen left and right. And you're going to be seeing people give no credit back to me where the credit is due. I did get this sent to me by a few people. And yes, I did see this. Thanks to those people. I didn't see it till you guys sent it to me, so thank you for sending it to me. Billy says, "Hey Josh, I'm sure someone's already told you on the latest episode of the Higher Side Chats in the Plus Hour, you were spoken of highly by the guest and host Greg." Yeah, I was a guest on there a couple years ago. The guest also said that he may be able to help you out with your health issues you've been having. Just thought I'd pass this on to you. I know how very unappreciated and overlooked your important and high-level work is. Always have a great day, and thanks for what you do. Well, thank you, Billy. Appreciate that, bud. Yeah, a couple people sent me that. Apparently, this guy was talking about my CMP work and talking about the Council for National Policy, and he did actually, indeed, give credit where credit was due, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to that guy and to Higher Side Chats and say thank you, because again, as I was just saying, it's always easy to focus on the negative, but I always want to give credit where credit's due when they give credit where credit is due, and that's all I ask. See, how hard is that? That's how it always should be. The reciprocal nature of things, You do good work, you get good credit for it. All I want is for people to respect my work, respect what I do, support what I do so I can do more of it. And I've just never understood why it's so hard for somebody to just do what that gentleman did on the Higher Side Chat show. But instead, the majority of what people do is they just steal my shit and then quote me word for word like the Al Jorgensen guy from Ministry and, on and on and on. He's not the only one. It's been done to me a million times. People steal my work. They steal stuff directly out of my films. And, how hard is it just to give credit where credit's due? It's just to say, hey, I got this information from Josh Reeves, here's his website, here's his films, go check them out, blah, blah, blah. And then, you add your own stuff to whatever I talked about. That's great. That's fine. I don't see the problem with that. And, look, I know I could very easily just say fuck it and just say I don't care and fuck those people, those idiots that are followers of Richie from Boston. I could easily go on his show and, do a show, and I'd probably get, make a few sales and might get a few supporters in. But I just don't have any interest, man. If you don't want my work, I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. If you don't want it, I'm not going to shove it down your throat. It's your loss, not mine. I'm not going to go preach to a bunch of people whose minds are already made up anyway. I'm just not going to do it. If I wanted to do that, I'd go outside every day and go to Walmart or wherever, or people's places of business or the street corner and try to hand out my movies and hand out. I'm not going to do it, man. I'm not going to do it. I'm only interested in people who actually, honestly, are searching for the truth like me. That's it. And there's too many of those people out there. There's too many of those type of people out there that want the truth just like me for me to worry about anybody else that doesn't. The main thing we need, as per usual, as far as we are not getting enough support of my work, folks. We're not getting enough financial support. And I've poured every single dime. I poured my life savings into this just to get this thing started when I started this in 2007. I poured every dime into this. And I know we got listeners out there. I know we got people out there who could afford to throw a couple of $1,000s at me right now and just say, let's see what you do here. Because, I only need $500-$600 to finish Spellcaster 2, but that's not going to cover how much it's going to cost to promote it, make discs, all that stuff. That's just to finish the film. And with the information that I've got, that I'm presenting in this film, folks, it deserves, more than anything else I've ever done, to have a little bit of money put behind it. We tried having the 10-year anniversary fundraiser to get some new gear in here because I'm doing all this. And I'm not doing this on new computers. All my computers are 6-7 years old. When I talk about I'm not going to do any more films, it's not because I don't want to do any more films. It's because my computers are not going to survive another film past this one. It's just the way it is. I've had every kind of fundraiser. I've pled with people to support our work. People know my work is important. I get 150 emails a day from people telling me how much I've changed their lives, how much my work has changed their life, how much every day they look forward to my shows. Yet I continue to get nothing but really flat, just disrespect from the majority of people out there. The minority of people are the people that support my work and respect what I do and, you know, you guys are the ones that keep me going, and I love you so much. I'm just not going to I'm just tired of being disrespected, and I'm not going to willfully subject myself to it anymore. All there is to it. All right, we'll see you next time, folks. Take care.